Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Gusty winds calming down across the area. Now comes the colder temperatures, and I'm tracking the possibility of some Thanksgiving winter weather.
We're tracking problems caused by high winds, including a major road closure in Lexington.
A school trip comes to an end after the driver is arrested for DUI. One of the parents on that bus spoke to me. You'll hear from her coming up.
WKYT News at 5 starts now.
Fortunately, this morning, strong winds have finally started to die down.
And now we are keeping an eye on changes that could affect your holiday travel. WKYT Chief Meteorologist now with that forecast. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, those winds this afternoon calming down compared to what we were seeing yesterday, last night, and certainly earlier this morning. Some of the peak wind gusts absolutely off the charts. Take a look at the numbers from a little earlier. Hello, Moorhead. Out at the airport, 62-mile-per-hour gust was recorded a little earlier. 55 at Bluegrass Airport in Lexington, into West Liberty as well. Georgetown and Jackson checking in with winds topping out at 53 miles per hour. Now, those winds not bouncing our live sky cam around as much as what we were seeing just a few hours ago. We're looking across Hamburg Pavilion. Temperatures have dropped into the upper 40s, and the gusts now are under 20 miles an hour, at least right now in Lexington. So that is certainly some good news. That colder air slowly inching its way on in from northwest to southeast. Upper 40s across the Bluegrass region, still 45 Covington, southeastern Kentucky, low 60s, even a few mid 60s. We hit 70 today in New Far, southeastern Kentucky. Had roughly a 30-degree temperature spread at one point today, showing up from northwest to southeast. Now, Live First Alert Defender, all the rains from the past couple of days getting on out of town. The winds getting on out of town. Now, guys, what we're looking at, the big Thanksgiving travel period is just around the corner. We want to get some nice weather for that. Unfortunately, Mother Nature has a different idea. She's going to try to throw a little wintry weather into parts of that travel period. We'll break that down when I come back in just about 10 minutes.
Chris, we'll see you then. Thank you. This morning, strong wind gusts have caused major traffic problems here in Lexington.
Versailles Road from New Circle to Man o' War had to be closed after winds took down a major power line. It's taken crews nearly all day to restore power and repair that line. Our Kristen Kennedy begins our top story team coverage live from Versailles Road with more on how traffic is moving now. Kristen?
Lexington police packed up their orange cones. The only ones that remain on this portion of Versailles Road right now are blocking the on-ramp to outbound New Circle Road. Monday morning around 10, high winds knocked tree limbs onto power lines across Versailles Road. Fire crews and Lexington police shut down the portion of the road between New Circle and Man o' War. They also immediately notified surrounding counties that they may have to deal with an increase in traffic.
Versailles Road is just a major thoroughfare for traffic coming from Bluegrass Parkway, from Louisville into Lexington, and out to the other major roadways. So this diversion obviously is going to create a huge traffic impact for the surrounding counties as well as Fayette County.
Lexington Police Lieutenant Chad Bacon made it a priority to notify all truckers and any drivers with emergency vehicles trying to get to UK Hospital.
The notification was made to the surrounding counties for EMS and ambulances to take alternate routes so their response isn't slowed down to get to the hospital.
At one point, the power outage stretched from downtown buildings and homes all the way out to the airport. Restaurants, including the Subway on Versailles Road, had to close during the lunch hour because they didn't have power.
I tell them our electric's out, we're limited to what we can do. If you want a cold sandwich, we can make you a cold sandwich, but most people just don't even want that, and they just turn around and go out.
KU crews are still working on these power lines, but right now their work does not affect any drivers on Versailles Road. Live in Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Okay, Kristen, good to see traffic moving there. Students who attend Rosa Parks Elementary, Beaumont Middle, and Dunbar High were affected. Their bus drivers had to use different ways to get the kids home. Now, a major change for recycling in Lexington. People in Lexington will be feeling the effects of today's weather for most of the week. There will be no recycling service, none, in Lexington for at least a week because of the strong winds. Strong gusts blew the canvas off the recycling center on Thompson Road, leaving it heavily damaged.
Power outages weren't the only problem the strong winds caused. A gust of wind knocked down a wall, causing it to crash in the public library in Paris. As WKYT's Jordan Valine shows us, it is not the first time Mother Nature has caused problems for that library. She continues our team coverage now from Bourbon County.
A few months ago, lightning sparked a fire at the public library in downtown Paris, temporarily halting construction on the historic building. And today,
we were working here. We've been here since 7.
Mother Nature swept through.
The wind just started picking up.
Yet again, this time while construction crews were on site.
Everybody was like, everybody out now, because you never know. The whole building could have come down. You don't know.
And although the whole building didn't go down,
it looks like a wrecking ball hit it. It's pretty destroyed on that side.
The damage was caused when strong wind gusts knocked over the new masonry wall.
It all came down. So a lot of the old library came down on that side. So no one's allowed in there at the moment.
Construction workers here tell me that the wall that crashed into the side of the library was about 30 to 40 feet tall, and workers say that it was pretty much the same height as the gray wall here behind me. Thankfully, crews were on the other side of the building when the wall came crashing down.
That block would have maimed you or killed you.
And now they're just looking at what's next.
This will set us back a good month probably.
And hoping that this renovation process won't sustain any more setbacks. In Paris, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Construction workers are now waiting for an engineer to ensure that the damaged side of the building is structurally sound. We are tracking a developing story out of Missouri this afternoon. A grand jury has reached a decision in the shooting death of an unarmed black teenager. Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson shot and killed 18-year-old Michael Brown during a confrontation August 9th. The grand jury was deciding whether or not to indict him. Reports indicate the announcement will be made at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. There is no word on what the grand jury has decided.
Police say that she drove a bus full of students while under the influence. Today, we're hearing from someone who was on that bus at the time. State police arrested Holly Brown Saturday in Washington County. The students were on their way back to Elliott County after a trip to Louisiana. WKYT's Victor Puente talks to a chaperone about how they put a stop to a dangerous ride.
The principal here at Elliott County High School told me the students who were on board had raised the money to pay for this charter bus. Kentucky State Police tell me it was those students who called 911. Sunday afternoon, the group of 41 students and 9 chaperones, including some teachers, were coming back from a Future Business Leaders of America conference in New Orleans.
We all had a really good time. Everything went smooth.
Atkins is a parent of one of those students. She says shortly after switching drivers in Bowling Green, everyone on board began to notice the bus swerving as they traveled along the Bluegrass Parkway.
I could see her face in the mirror. I thought she was just kind of about to fall asleep. I was concerned.
Kentucky State Police say several students on the bus called 911. Elliott County Principal Zachary Mays says he got a call after his teachers asked the driver to pull over in Washington County.
They got off at the gas station and refused to get back on the bus because of the way the lady was driving.
By then, an Anderson County deputy had located the bus, and state police came to arrest the driver, 46-year-old Holly Brown. She was charged with driving under the influence, having a prescription-controlled substance not in the proper container, and wanton endangerment. Principal Mays says he's thankful no one was hurt and thankful for the quick thinking of his teachers.
When you deal with kids, I mean, those two things just absolutely do not mix.
I saw firsthand how they took control of the situation, and I couldn't have asked for any better.
The company Brown drives for, Miller Transportation, operates out of Louisville. They told a TV station there that they have random drug and alcohol testing for their drivers. They also said they believe Brown had a medical issue that led to this incident and that her charges will eventually be lowered. Kentucky State Police say that depends on the results of her toxicology tests. In Elliott County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The principal says he talked to the president of Miller Transportation this morning. He says they apologized and are working to make it right. We have some more information about the requirements bus drivers must meet before getting behind the wheel. They must have a commercial driver's license, a CDL. Drivers have to pass a drug test before receiving a CDL. Drivers are then subject to random drug testing. Federal regulations limit commercial bus drivers to 11 hours driving per day and 70 hours per week.
A Powell County man was recognized today for saving another man's life. Delbert Wright helped pull a man from a burning truck while returning from a job in Indiana. Officials from Powell County and Indiana presented Wright with the Goodyear Tires Highway Hero Award during a ceremony in Lexington. This is a picture of the crash scene. Wright says the truck burst into flames just a minute or two after he got that man out.
Felt like either if I didn't get him out of there, he was going to die, and if I stayed there much longer, we was going to die.
Wright works for Pre-Stress Services here in Lexington. He received a plaque and a $1,000 check for his actions. True hero right there. Well, it is certainly a big matchup.
It is. The Cats facing the Cards on the football field this weekend. Cats need the win if they want to extend their season. Our Rob Bromley's here now with our Big Blue coverage. Hey, Rob.
Hello, Sam. It is rivalry week, and the Wildcats prepare to travel to Louisville on Saturday. It's been a tough stretch for Kentucky, losing 5 straight, but they can end the regular season on a high note with a win over the Cardinals and in the process become bowl eligible. Mark Stoops says his team deserves it.
Well, I think a win this weekend would do an awful lot for these players. I think they deserve it. I think you know, that's what I've told them is they put in the work, they put in the time, they care, and they deserve to win and have that taste of success and that taste of a bowl game, and I'd like to see that for them.
So this year, the game wraps up the regular season. The Cats going to Louisville Saturday. It'll be a noon kickoff, Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. It'll be televised by ESPN2. Coming up in sports, a little bit before 6, Mark Stoops tells us what he did on a day off. And, of course, he took some time to watch that Louisville-Notre Dame game Saturday. Sam, Amber.
Thank you, Rob. A win Saturday, of course, would make the Cats bowl eligible for the first time since 2010. The U.S. Secretary of Defense announcing he is stepping down. We'll tell you when he'll be leaving office.
Visiting a red box is going to get more expensive. We'll tell you how much more you're going to pay. That's in Better Living.
And we're tracking reports of wind damage across the area today. We'll show you what the winds did in Frankfurt on WKYT News at 5:30.
Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel handed in his resignation today. Hagel is stepping down after nearly 2 years in the position. He was the only Republican in President Obama's cabinet. He joined President Obama during the announcement of his resignation this morning.
It's been the greatest privilege of my life. The greatest privilege of my life to lead and, most important, to serve.
Chuck Hagel has been no ordinary Secretary of Defense. As the first enlisted combat veteran to serve in that position, he understands our men and women like few others.
President Obama did not announce a replacement. Hagel plans to serve until one is confirmed.
A grand jury has indicted a Louisville teenager in a school shooting. 16-year-old Andre Banks is charged with assault, wanton endangerment, evidence tampering, and gun charges. The shooting happened back on September 30th at Fern Creek High School. A 15-year-old student was shot in the stomach. He spent about 2 weeks in the hospital before going home to finish his recovery. In Cleveland, police have started an investigation after officers shot a 12-year-old boy who had a BB gun in his hand. Tamir Ross died yesterday, 1 day after the shooting at a park. Police say Ross grabbed the BB gun from his waistband after being told to raise his hands, and that's when police officers fired.
A tragedy like this affects our entire community. Our officers at times are required to make critical decisions in a split second. Unfortunately, this was one of those times.
Both police officers involved have been placed on administrative leave. One is a first-year rookie. The other has 10 years in the department.
The temperatures have started to rise in upstate New York, causing concern about flooding. Up to 7 feet of snow fell in the region last week. Creeks have started to rise as the snow melts, and people in low-lying neighborhoods have been told to have an evacuation plan ready. The area also has strong winds on the way.
With the waterlogged ground, wouldn't be surprising if trees blow over or branches topple down, which of course can take down power lines.
Authorities are also asking people to clear heavy snow from their rooftops as quickly as possible.
Thieves don't need much information to steal your identity. We look at ways to protect yourself in a consumer alert on WKYT News at 5:30.
There's some new guidelines for doctors when it comes to treating eczema in children. We have the recommendations for you in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. It is estimated about 10% of children in the U.S. suffer with eczema. As Chris Van Cleve shows us, the American Academy of Pediatrics is releasing new recommendations to help doctors treat the common skin condition.
Daddy. 4-year-old Ava Rosado has been dealing with itchy, painful eczema all her life.
It feels like I need to scratch it.
We're always telling her, don't scratch, rub, 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 because if you scratch, then you break the skin, she gets an infection.
Treating eczema can be challenging. Now, a new American Academy of Pediatrics report says doctors should give parents an action plan to manage the problem.
First, how to use moisturizers for eczema. That's the important mainstay of therapy. The second is prescriptions to apply on their children's skin when they do have flares.
The report also recommends bathing every 2 to 3 days with a gentle cleanser. Skin should be patted dry but left damp. Moisturizer should be applied immediately. When it comes to flare-ups, Mount Sinai pediatric dermatologist Dr. Nanette Silverberg says parents should not hesitate to use topical steroids.
They have certainly not been associated with major side effects.
Deanna Rosado knows steroids are sometimes necessary.
I don't like using them, but I'd rather, I can't watch her suffer from this scratching and the itching and the crying that it hurts.
When they put the medicine on it, it feels better.
Ava also takes an antihistamine before bed to help relieve the itching so she can get a better night's sleep. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, New York.
The report also points out that parents need to be on the lookout for skin infections. Children with eczema are more prone to being carriers of staph bacteria on their skin. You will have to spend a little more the next time you visit a Red Box. DVD rentals will go up 25% to $1.50 a night. Blu-ray rentals will go up to $2 a night. Redbox is hoping the increased revenue will allow the rental service to offer more and better services. If you don't want to fight the Black Friday crowds, you can still get a deal online. Many stores hold online sales the Monday after Thanksgiving, a day known as Cyber Monday. This year, Walmart plans to offer the deals all week. Cyber Week will feature twice as many deals as last year. The sale starts Saturday and it runs for 5 days.